Radio Raheem with the man you already know, the alien, Bernard Hopkins. You're on stage, man, and there is a fighter to your left from your hometown, Philly. Now, you know, Hank Lundy, he talks a lot of trash, but when it comes to Bernard Hopkins, it's all respect. What do you think about Hank Lundy and his possible performance tomorrow night?
I've been in the gym with Hank, and Hank been in the gym with me, and I'm familiar with Hank from, I guess, 10 years now. I won't be surprised if he win this fight, because Hank is one of those guys that has those off and on days where when you don't think he's going to shine, Radio Raheem, he shines. So this is a fight to me that is not an easy tune-up fight for our guy, because you know Hank know that this is a crosswords for him, and so do his opponent. So I see it being a really good drag-out, knockdown fight, and I see it being close or someone's getting knocked out. Either one can get knocked out, and Hank to me is the better puncher.
Now, everybody knows the culture of boxing. Sometimes it lends itself to race or nationality, certainly city where you're from. When you see fighters from Philly like this, is it a little bit more special to you? Do you look out after those guys a little bit?
Well, they got to be with Golden Boy promotion. That's important. But my heart is always with Philly, and I told Hank, and right with Jay Prince, I said, look, man, nobody's gonna give you nothing here, so you might as well just go out swinging. You know, I mean, if you're going to go out, and he understood that, and he'll repeat what I just said to you, Radio Raheem. So my thing is my heart is always in Phillies. I'm never going to compromise that. But business is business. He know what he got to do. And I went above and beyond and told him nobody's going to give him nothing. And he got to come out gunslinging and gunslinging. And I told Jay the same thing. They understand that. So this is nothing like tipping a hat or tipping anything. It's just letting him understand that, hey, man, you got to bring that Philly and some, because some of your fights is you actually gave them opportunity to be able to take it away from you. So now you can put all that to the side. Boxing people have short memories. You do well or you do a spectacular Saturday, and you erase all that and you start back really not over, but you really start another chapter and gunning for something bigger and better down the line.
Just yesterday, I talked to Sergey Kovalev, who, at least as far as I know, for the first time admitted that his fight with you was a real mental stress on him, that it was the most difficult fight he had mentally. Did you sense that when you were in the ring with him? And now that that fight's over, where do you see the trajectory of his career? How good can he be?
Well, I didn't see that in Sergey, but I know that he mentioned it before. But for Sergey to mention it and to still come out with a victory, Reddy Raheem, he keep it real. Whether we agree to disagree, and we don't disagree often. This guy, Sergey, is one of those guys, man, that can be as good as he wants to be. And right now, he's at a transition, I believe, my personal opinion, where now it's the next level. The next level in knowledge of boxing, the next level in doing more than just the things that got him here, because everybody else is watching and preparing to offset what you've been doing so far. And it's been brilliant so far, but just to stay ahead of the game, you have to reinvent yourself, not change yourself, and add more of the sweet science to your arsenal, and that would be really a bigger problem for anybody that might think he cannot box when he need to. He can be a counterpuncher. He can do the shoulder roll. He can do the block with the elbows, the forearm. All these things, right, Raheem, is important when you get in there with a guy just as aggressive as you are and can punch just as hard as you can. And the talent is getting better and better and more experienced as he goes up in the ladder. So he has to make some adjustments, even with an undefeated record. Even being a guy that's the guy in the light heavyweight division, to keep yourself fresh and a fresh memory and a fresh way of learning, you gotta put those things in front of you as challenges, so you won't get stagnant, so you won't stay still and continue to be the same all the time.
A guy who's looking awfully fresh today, with all that wisdom still in your head. You're coming in looking like you're in fighting shape. They'd kill me if I didn't ask you, man.
172. Eric Gomez, I wish he was up on the stage. Ray Raheem, listen, it's a skill right here. I got all my clothes on. Let me tell you something. I've been working every day softly, and my body just seems to react so quick to drop down 2, 3, 4. Then I got on the scale. I said, man, I'm 72. So I'm seeing how that 70 and that 68 feel at 50, just to see how I am. No sparring. I haven't sparred. I haven't done anything since November 8th. But far as lifestyle, far as keeping my body together, far as working out at least 3 or 4 times a week at Johan's gym, or doing some running, or doing some sprints at Temple University. I'm getting everybody a shout out. Radio Raheem, it's a lifestyle for us, brother. Look at you. You're not doing an interview. You're not.
I'm inspired. But I can't show up fat talking to you.
Exactly, because this is all image. Image is first, and what you say out your mouth keeps you in the building. And that's important. To anybody out there, we both think the same way. Image gets you in the building. What you say out your mouth keeps you in the building.
You got somebody on the radar, man. You don't look like this. You don't get in that gym and come and fight in shape without somebody on the radar. Give me some names. Who are you looking at, man? I know you're still trying to get in this ring.
You know, I was a middleweight terror for 12 years in my career. And I'm looking at, like, some conversation came up yesterday and said, Bernard, you ruled the middleweight division and unified it with Tito in 2001. I said, yeah. And they said, well, who ruling the middleweight division now? I said, well, a killer, a guy that's knocking everybody out that nobody wants to fight. You got guys is turning down almost $2 million purses to not fight this guy. I would have fought the guy for $50,000 back then because I wanted to show I was the best fighter at that weight division, and that's the middleweight division. So now that I moved up years ago and fought Tarver, I'm like, wait a minute. The only threat out there, the only guy out there that I see that nobody wants to fight between 60 and 75, or 60 or 68, because Sergey to me is the guy light heavyweight, Triple G.
Let's do it. You know we want to see that, man.
Everybody, listen, Oscar called out Triple G, so they're going to be like, oh, now Bernard called out Triple G, and then somebody going to talk me out of it. My thing is this, is that, you know, it has to be a weight situation on both sides. But at the end of the day, it's good to see a middleweight guy like Triple G dominating like I dominated it in my career. And so that division that I really made my legacy at, you know, the light heavyweight division was great. I made history. I broke records. I set records. By no means I'm trying to discredit that. But in the middleweight division, been handed over to Triple G, who nobody's seen coming. I didn't hear about this guy years ago, but he was waiting in the wing, and now he's dominating, spreading terror, fear in everybody in the 60 and 68 division, as far as I'm concerned. So my thing is, you know, I like to see him and Andre Ward fight. That'd be a good fight also. Andre get a couple of cobwebs out of his system, and that would be a good fight. And I think that you have determination versus all-around skilled guy, and that's with Andre Ward. So now I got my promoter's hat on. But if I was going to fight anybody out there that will have me, like, you know, I got to be on my A game. Plus, with this guy, it would be that fight.
Radio Raheem with the alien, Bernard Hopkins. Always a pleasure and an honor, man. Bernard Hopkins versus Triple G. We may see it.
Keep it tight, because we're going to be watching. He always got to be in front of the camera, so we're going to make sure as years go by, he got a watchboard.
Yes, sir.